spending the whole day with FEMA, but he will be here later.
Okay, and Councilman Patino?
Here.
Councilman Phillips?
Here.
Casella?
Here.
Supervisor Thurston?
Here. Everyone please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
You're good, boss.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, since this is a workshop, basically, we don't have much of the normal items, so the first item will be to adopt the agenda tonight, which is largely focused on the budget.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passed. Next item is a public hearing on the 22 budget per the preliminary budget. What this means is that previously, last meeting, we passed the preliminary budget, so now we'll be having discussions tonight and probably another night or two with respect to what that means for 2022. So this is the public hearing portion of it. So do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open it.
Second.
The motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, motion passed. So if anybody has any comments, I'll invite Judge Kitchen first, because last meeting we had asked her to go back with respect to looking at some of the compensation for the court attendance. So Judge Kitchen's here
How are you?
for that.
Thank you.
And pass one down for Bill. So the podium's yours, Judge Kitchen.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I was asked to give a little more detail about our court security, which is provided by the Office of Court Administration. We are currently paying the court officers $27.59 an hour with a guarantee of 3 hours. Town of LaGrange is the only local town that uses the Office of Court Administration. All the rest of the surrounding towns either use the Sheriff's Department or they use their own police department. Town of LaGrange is currently paying their armed security $35 an hour with a 4-hour minimum. And I've also attached some of the other towns that are in different counties, but there are other examples of what the Office of Court Administration is paying, well, what the local towns are paying men from the, well, I want to say men, officers from the Office of Court Administration for armed security. So I really think it's important that we ensure that these officers understand that we value what they bring to the court as far as security and safety, and we pay them at least what the town of LaGrange, which is a smaller town and not even as busy court as ours, because the last thing we want to do is we don't want to lose them. The Sheriff's Department was way more expensive than what we're paying these officers. And they actually provide more services. They are, I hate to say this, but they are way more helpful. They do things as simple as carry files, get messages to the gals in the back when I need somebody. They are very, very hands-on, which is not what the Sheriff's Department was. It's very nice that sometimes I only have to raise my voice, and 2 of them from the hallway come rushing in, and the next thing you know, they're surrounding whoever it is that I'm yelling at because they're assuming there's a problem and maybe somebody's going to jail. So it's very important that that happen, because we all know what we've seen on the news, et cetera, that what we do, Judge Wolfson and I do, is very volatile and potentially dangerous. So.
And I believe that the last time that raise was proposed, which we had looked, was about 3 years ago.
I think you're correct.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Heather? Yeah. I think that's right. So it's been 3 years since we had looked at it, and I had also discussed, not just with judges, but also with Chris, and also with the court attendants themselves. And so I'm certainly in favor of doing this.
Right.
Now, they performed a great function.
Just to kind of give it an overview, is what we've requested in the budget and what I'm requesting now. There's only a difference of $1,610 a year is the difference between what we've proposed in the budget and what we're proposing now. So we're not talking about a lot of money here.
So only $6,800 difference between what's in the budget today?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, 1610.
Okay.
So yeah.
And if I may add, I spend a lot of time prosecuting in court. The court officers are very well trained. They they work in, you know, Supreme and city courts during the day. And as the judge says, you know, court officers have a very different sense of what's going on in the courtroom than the
Regular
sheriff's
police
department and
officers, right.
things like
They're
that.
trained specifically to deal with court situations.
And
so.
they're very good at diffusing situations. I mean, one of the most difficult things that a judge can do is put somebody in jail who thinks they're going to be out on bail.
Right.
And, you know, the court officers handle that tremendously well. It's a very, very important skill to have. And, you know, as Judge Kitchen mentioned, you know, when we had the sheriff's deputies providing security in the past, most of the officers who did it on overtime. So it was, you know, a much greater expense that we're currently paying these officers.
Thank you, Jim.
Questions?
Any other questions? Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Judge Kitchen.
Thank you
very much.
for
Thank
letting
Yeah.
me
Yep.
present
So
this,
we'll take that in
Great.
consideration as we formulate the final budget.
have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other, you know, comments? Yes, come on up. Grace, please come up to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Grace Martin. I live at 52 Fieldstone Loop in the town of Wappinger. I have some questions about the senior budget item lines here. Adult activities, many good things are on here. There's Dial a Ride, which is used. There's a line that says Senior Citizen Director PS. I'm making the belief that that's a salary. There's adult recreation equipment, which is listed for $2,000. Actually used in 2020 was $3,000. The only other line item that's listed is adult recreation CE, which again, it looks like that's a salary budget for me. So I have some specific questions that I've actually asked some of the council people, but for those who were not on copy, these are the questions I actually have in the budget, because again, these are high level, you know, from 10,000 feet, I want to go grassroots because I'm an active member of the senior department as well as now a member of the Wappinger Seniors Association. I joined that group recently. So what is budgeted for senior bus trips? I know Jessica does a great job trying to plan these, but what is into the next year? What is budgeted for bus trips? Because I don't see it on this high-level view.
It would not be in the high level, it would be on the detailed
Detail.
line items. I
So,
don't,
what's
Frederick,
the-
do you have an answer on that?
Well, how much is, I mean, because this is very important as we work with the Wappinger Seniors Association to know what's budgeted for them and what we budget and try to get through our fundraising activities. So what's in the bus trips?
Sure. No, Frederick or Jessica? Jessica, come on up and address. Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica.
Oh, no problem. I've got a really big paper, so I'm actually going to bring it right here. All right, so for bus trips in 2022, we have $8,000.
Oh, thank you. Now, this year, we successfully run a new book club which the supervisor supported, and Jessica has played a very integral part of that. So where do items like the book club are listed? So what's budgeted for that? And then I just did a general, so I don't know if you want to try to lump these together, but I'm trying to go activity by activity. Because when I look at the youth part of the budget, which I've seen some levels at, you actually list all the line items at some point in time. You say what they get for basketball, you say what they get for fishing, and I want that same level of detail for the seniors, which are like 25% of our town's population. So do you lump together book club, movies, crafts, garden club, walking club, birthday parties, pickleball, Zumba, Tai Chi, chair yoga, our coffee supplies, and our special events? Do you lump that together and you can give me that number, or do you individually break it down? So we can talk about book club. I mean, that's a new club this year. It probably wasn't budgeted for last year.
No, it wasn't.
So
It was
what, for
special
this
ed.
year, again, it's a successful team. Jessica has run it very well, and just looking to see if that's still in consideration for this next year going forward.
I don't see a line item for it.
I don't see a line item, but certainly my intention is to continue it.
So a lot of those go under special events.
So what's budgeted then for special events for two?
4,000.
So 4,000, so that's a special events. What else goes under then special events? So book club will be considered special events?
The upfront costs for some luncheons, coffee and refreshments, which covers the daily coffee as well as.
That's also in that 4,000?
Nope, that is
Okay.
a separate line of about 1,500.
Okay.
That also covers like the lunches for movie days and
Okay.
things like that.
Okay. So then what about your crafts?
There's a specialized line for that, which is $1,000.
Okay. Garden club is a new thing we tried to kick off this year, but between the weather and some other things, we didn't do that. And I think the supervisor at one point in time, you got with actually one of my coworkers, and there was some money budgeted for that. Is that also an event? Because we wanted to, the goal during the pandemic time was to do stuff outside. So we thought beautifying the grounds around this building was something what the seniors wanted to do. Now, again, we had a couple rocky things going, so it didn't happen. But it's a club I'm looking to kick off very aggressively in April to beautify these grounds, because this looks like a strip mall. I'm sorry. So is there something in the garden club that will be allotted for?
If I remember correctly, some of that was going to go under the town hall landscaping. We could include it in here, but I
It
know
would be
we
a
have-
good idea, I
Yeah,
think.
we
to
included
include
We
it
should
in
break
our-
it out, is what we should do, keep it a separate
So
line
could you
item.
kind of give us like a
Yeah.
ballpark or what you think you want to do that? Because
Yeah.
going forward, we got a very active, younger part of the seniors, and we're trying to bridge in the older seniors, because now that you let seniors be 55 and older, I mean, we got some that we have very few younger, but the younger and as well as the older, we can have them come outside and sit in the chair and help us, hand us the flowers, and we'll plant them.
Yeah.
So I just
Plus-
want to know, going forward,
You have experience. You
Yes,
know
I
what
do.
grows, and you know what doesn't grow in this area.
Yes, we do.
And that is so
we were going to
key.
do bulbs in the fall, in whatever it is. I don't want to go past history.
No, no,
But
no, no.
going forward, so what kind of monies are we seeing for that? Because we want to then go either work with Steve Frazier ourselves, and then go, if you tell us we have $400, I'll go buy the supplies and I'll give you the receipts. I think you want that versus.
So part of the issue, Grace, is that some monies for, landscaping are in Steve's budget.
Yeah.
Some of the monies that we've used come out of, the
Jessica.
trust funds and Jessica's, and then we have, I think, still waiting for the gazebo
Correct.
beautification, $1,200 or something in,
It's less than that, and that is
yeah.
earmarked for
I
that
thought it was
specific
1,200, so, yeah,
area.
but anyway.
Okay, so there will be some sort of money, and
Yeah.
I can work with somebody that,
Yeah, we
like a
can-
senior advisory board on the council?
Sure, we can, work,
As well
I'd
as
say
Jessica.
with Chris.
So
You know.
Chris is the senior advisory council person on this board? Because
If he
I mean,
wants
we-
to.
I guess I am now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, thank you, 'cause it used to be,
But I can
it used to be
also-
Ward
you know,
4.
I'll be honest with
It
you.
used to be Ward
I
4.
can help you with that, because I've lived here my entire life. I know a little bit of gardening.
But I'm just
what
talking in
works.
general, if we had to do one liaison for the
We
100-plus
work well
active
together.
seniors. Okay, so you two will
We
be the
would work
contact.
fine.
So I also do work over at Martsfield, Robinson Lane, Regency, so it's actually
I
a
think it would be
combination of
all
all
of
of
us.
us.
But I
that
think
have a
for the
piece of it.
seniors,
I
though,
mean,
we
I'm
need
looking for a
If you're looking at
senior
senior
rep. Again,
specific,
you
it's
all can
probably-
work with
yeah.
each other just like
That's
we're a
fine.
group of 20 or 100. I mean, so I'll be their point guard. Who's my point guard for the senior advisory council person? It used to be Ward 4 when Mike was here. He was the rep who worked with Jessica. Mike was the rec
I'll be
slash.
the assistant.
So again, I'm not
Grace,
saying
you
it should
can-
be you,
you can
Al. I'm just
contact
saying,
me.
Contact Chris.
You can
And-
contact
and-
For that.
Yeah, Chris will be
okay.
your focal point.
And you'll reply to me directly?
Yep.
Chris?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Chris is-
And we'll help him.
Okay,
And-
that's great.
yeah.
So it's Chris Phillips. Perfect, because the seniors have been asking, who's our point guard? You can tell I played basketball. Okay, so things like, now I know we just started Zumba Gold, and it's a very successful program. So I guess that's covered under
Yeah.
some line item with Tai Chi and chair yoga?
Correct.
Okay, so that's obviously budgeted somewhere, and it's staying in the budget because they're very active programs.
And we've also talked about, and we will have some more discussion about perhaps an expansion of that, because it is so popular.
Yeah,
So we'll have some other discussions on perhaps adding some other items, so.
Okay,
We
so
do
things
have
like
money
the-
there for yoga
So things
and
like the
Tai
birthday
Chi,
party
right.
also goes under special events?
So-
in somewhere? Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
The only last question I have in respect to the seniors is, I see at one point in time, we used to budget for the holiday party. Now, in Jessica's presentation a couple weeks ago, she was requesting money. So I guess there will be some sort of senior holiday party this year because, again, the seniors are asking for this again, and we know it's,
Well, there's money in there for the Christmas party.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's $4,000 in the budget for
okay,
that.
so there is 4,000 in the
Yeah.
budget for this year, and
Which-
looking forward, is it the same next year?
Well, actually, so it's 2,000
It's
for
2,000 this year, we're
Okay.
doubling it.
4,000 for next year, because we're working off of,
Got it.
I have a couple of places that I'm trying to get us into. It's 175 people, and a lot of halls are not necessarily equipped for 175 people. To be honest, right now, I'm looking at the St. Mary's Gym I know it's outside of Wappinger, but it seems like it's going to be the biggest place that can accommodate.
St. Mary's in Fishkill.
Wappinger.
Well, St. Mary's in Wappinger is in Wappinger.
Well, it's in
But it's
town of
Poughkeepsie.
Yeah,
It's in the
Oh,
village,
so when I
but
write
the
my
town
church
portion.
checks to St. Mary's or Wappinger, it goes somewhere else? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Grace.
You're welcome.
I'll help you out if you need help with that.
Good.
I'll help you out.
Okay, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Franca Petrillo, Houstonville, New York. Under the special improvement areas for 2022, it mentioned the Houstonville Lighting District. I was wondering if you could clarify what that is, what that consists of, and what the cost is that's budgeted for that?
Frederick? This is a previously established existing lighting district that I think goes back. If Bill were here, he would be able to give you,
Answer, yeah.
It was established in the 60s.
yeah. Do you recall what the boundaries or what the lights were? Is it at the intersection, Jim, I think?
No.
I don't remember.
I believe it's broader than that.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly. Frederick, do we know about how many lights are in the district?
So the only lighting district that we have a budget for is the Regency Lighting District, which we have $22,000, 200, which is approximately about $1,000 per month.
But here, as Franca is raising, there is the Houstonville Lighting District,
Yep.
you know, which has a line item, right? You know, that's what I believe she's referring to.
That's correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
But then, you know, that is an
So-
old district. I don't know what it included. Was that also perhaps, was it Indian Village as well? I've forgotten that when it came
I
in.
don't think
Indian,
so.
I think it might even predate Indian.
No, okay.
It's,
When Bill gets here, he'll know, I think.
it's most of the streets in Houstonville, it's probably the streets, I think there's lights along 9D there in Houstonville and on
Yeah.
New Hamburg. And-
One of the few areas that has streetlights along those
Right,
roads, right?
because New York State does not pay, you
Right.
know, so
You got Houstonville, Chelsea, a number of them have lighting districts.
Chelsea, right, there's a
Mm-hmm. We have
Chelsea
several.
lighting district. there's a
Chelsea has
Houstonville-
one, right.
Yep.
Houstonville Lighting District, Camelli Drive
Yep.
has a lighting district, and Regency has a lighting
Yeah,
district.
it's like
I believe
four.
that's all of those.
Yeah.
So in my taxes, there was a $65 charge for that traffic light in Houstonville. There's only one traffic light. And my concern is that,
No, we're not, this is for street lighting, not traffic lights.
okay,
Yeah.
so I'm
These are
paying,
overhead street lights.
okay, so the town is responsible for the street lighting, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay, the residents are responsible for the traffic light, is that correct?
No,
No.
the traffic light is under the jurisdiction of New York State.
Yep.
It's a state road. So the traffic light at New Hamburg and 9D, that's a state expense.
But we're paying for that.
No, we're paying for the street lights.
Yeah.
No, it says, no, my taxes say traffic light. There's only one traffic light in Houstonville. That's on my tax statement. So I'm wondering what I'm paying for, and what will happen when that traffic light is changed? with a
It should
be the
proposed
lighting.
gas
It should be the
station.
lighting
Just the
district,
lighting
Sandra, yeah.
district.
We'll double check that, but that's
Yeah.
not
I will
for the
go
street
back
light.
to my tax statement, but it says Houstonville Light.
Okay,
I'm
we'll
pretty
double
sure
check.
it says
Houstonville
that.
Lighting District, which is
That's,
for the.
because
Yeah.
I get the same thing for Chelsea.
Okay,
I have
I
to
will
pay
go
for
back and
lights.
clarify that.
Yeah.
But my question is, what will happen with the proposed gas station when there's going to be more lighting on that street and the traffic light will be changed? Whose responsibility will that be? Will our taxes go up because of that? So that is my question.
No, the state covers the traffic light,
Right.
and the district covers the street lighting.
And we've had no proposals for new lighting district, so there's no new lighting proposals under the Houstonville proposal, planning board approved.
That's right.
Right, Jim? I mean,
The
that's,
lighting, I-
yeah, I mean, that's how I recall.
I have not seen any,
Yeah.
any request to put
No.
in additional street lighting.
Correct.
Any lighting that's on the site.
Okay, but the traffic light will be changed to a more sophisticated light?
That-
So
again,
That's
That's a
up to
state
the
issue.
That's
We
a
don't know.
state expense, which
Responsibility?
is probably
Yes.
going to be passed on to the developer if it's necessitated by by any change.
So
in
I
the
will
intersection.
clarify what my $65
Sure.
payment is, because it's
So
in my
with
taxes
with
every
respect to the
year.
lighting districts, there's so on your tax bill for any of the lighting districts, Houstonville, Chelsea, Camilli Drive,
Mm-hmm.
or for Regency, which is the last one that was created, in those districts, that's a one-time charge, which covers the operating expenses for the year. So what happens is that the lighting districts are on the old lighting districts, Houstonville is based on a benefit assessment roll, I'm sorry, on a ad valorem basis. So
I'm
it's based
sorry,
on-
what kind of a basis?
It's based on the value of your property. It's calculated the same way as your tax bill.
So since my assessment went up, will my taxes go up as well then? In
Again, the rate,
2022?
the rate is based on, there's a, it would be $1 per thousand rate.
So,
Let me, I
so
believe.
since my assessment went up, for every 1,000 it went up, there's going to be an increase? Is that what you're saying?
No, it depends, so what happens is, the taxes, the rate that an individual pays on taxes the whole assessed value of the town went up. So if your house property went up in value, in essence, at the same rate as all the other properties in the town, it will probably not reflect any change, assuming and I believe the tax levy is the same or lower?
Lower.
Lower. So, just because your assessed value went up does not necessarily mean your taxes are going to
Okay,
go up.
thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you to all of you.
Sure.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Comments in the public portion? Okay, seeing none, there's motion to close.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passed. The public hearing is closed. Next item is resolutions, and this Resolution 2021 will have, I think, discussion before we have any motions either to adopt or to table. But this is concerning adopting the capital budgets, O&M charges, and water and sewer rates, and rents for special districts, special improvement areas. We still don't have finalized anything with respect to the water and sewer rates, so that
Right.
I propose we table this again until our, next meeting.
That's fine, and that's what we said we would do. We
Right.
wanted to make sure we had the,
Jim, what do we?
So you have a couple of options. One
Okay.
would be to amend the resolution to take out the rate portion
Okay,
and adopt the other portions of the budget. Or, you can table it, it depends on, where you stand with the rest of the other budget.
I think we'll have discussion, but.
so we have till the 22nd though, right? Technically, to make sure all the stuff is approved? Well, 19th is a Saturday, right?
Well, the
Saturday.
20th, it has to be adopted by the
20th, but it's a weekend.
But, so that's a Saturday, but under the law, where an action takes place on a Saturday, the day it's due is deferred to the next Monday.
Yeah, so it's the 22nd.
Right.
So the 22nd, but I think you have a meeting scheduled for the 15th.
15th,
Correct.
correct. Yes.
So.
So at
But
that
again,
point,
for purposes, so with respect to the special districts, which includes the lighting districts, the only thing is with the lighting districts, you don't have any O&M charges.
Right.
You just have a capital portion of it. But, so there's three things that the board is looking at with respect to special districts. The first is what capital charges would be put on the tax bill. For water and sewer districts, those are typically debt service costs. The costs for servicing the debt, the outstanding debt related to those
Right.
water and sewer districts. With respect to drainage districts, lighting districts, in those cases, that's basically the O&M charges. None of those, actually, I don't believe any of those districts have any outstanding debt service.
No, I don't believe so.
So in those cases, again, the operating expense is allocated on a benefit assessment basis. Previously, the board has adopted all the benefit assessment rolls for the various districts. So with respect to the capital portion of the budgets for the districts, the lighting, so this is what appears on the tax bill. So that's works kind of in conjunction with the O&M, or the O&M budget. So basically what you do is you figure out, you adopt an O&M budget, and that's how much the operating expenses are for the district, and then that would be allocated, and the O&M budget includes the debt service, and then as part of the operating budget, in addition to what goes on the tax bill, there's a certain amount in that budget that would be raised by fees, the user fees that are charged. So with respect to, water and sewer district rates, ultimately, I believe at the end of the day, the goal is to keep that roughly the same, the amount you're going to raise by user fees. Now, on the rate side, you can change, in essence, how much you charge per gallon. You can have a flat, charge the excess. But at the end of the day, that may wind up being the same. The goal, in essence, is to generate the same amount of money overall for the entire year that's stated in your budget. So you can adopt the budget and then throughout the year, if you wish, tinker with the user rates.
so we know what the bottom line revenue has to be, right?
Okay.
And so what we need to be able to do from there is we need to be able to say, okay, based on either assessments or whatever, we need to adjust the rates in order to get the amount of money that we think we need, right? And this is something that comes from chemo pollution. Who's this stuff come from?
Well, the rates were...
Not the rates, just the overall assessment we think we need for O&M.
Yeah, that was the budget.
And that's the
that Mike-
presentation that he
He
did.
presented-
So we
he
know
said
what the
to us.
numbers have to be, bottom line. We just got to figure out what the rates are to make sure that we get enough revenue.
So it's a
Bottom line.
combination of camo and then
Yep.
the debt service. what
Right,
have-
and the debt, right, so the debt
Right,
service...
So we know that too.
And the debt service, so with respect to the capital portion, the debt service for the water and sewer districts, because they're the only ones that have debt service, that can be imposed upon properties that are in the district and not connected. So people that are not connected but are in the district do not pay any user fees, but they do pay benefit assessment capital charges on their tax bill. So again, that's how, in essence, the way we figure the capital budget is we take the overall debt service divided by the benefit assessments, and everyone in the district gets, assigned a certain amount. So in essence, what's happening is, for purposes of the operating budget, the debt service component is being taken out. So what you're looking at is the balance of it, the balance of the expenses for operating the district are then generated by user fees or, appropriation of fund balance or, any other kind of charges that may come in. payments from out-of-district users, things like that.
So does it make sense to pass the amended resolution now and then figure out the charge rates later, or do it all at once?
I mean, I think that might be the easier way to do it, because that then gives you, you're not under, you're not under, you have then more ability to set the rates, to look at more of the data to set the rates. Because one of the things that, has become an issue is people who, on the sewer side, people who have a high water usage but don't have but are using it for gardening purposes and things like that. And then, the other issue too is, in order to set the rates for water and sewer, you need really more of a statistical analysis in that how much is each individual user using, what would be, in essence, the term would be mode, what's the most common usage amount that people have, and that type of stuff, which is really, I think, more of a sophisticated statistical analysis to figure out what's the best way to come to an appropriate user rate. I mean, you know what the costs of the district are, and you basically know that how much you have to raise. But as far as tweaking the individual rate, that may take, that takes probably a little bit more. And the other thing too is you can tweak that throughout the year to get a better handle on it. I know that's something we looked at this year, mid-year, because that was the other thing too, is there's some issues regarding seasonality and everything else. So
I know Leanne's been looking at, but I would still suggest that we table it and we still have, meeting, 2 meetings, to do it. And then if we can't reach any, conclusion, that seems to be fair and reasonable.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the benefit is of doing it tonight versus when we know what the rates are. I'd rather know the whole picture
same with
together,
me.
and then we can go out there and say what the rates and things are going to be.
That's my preference. So.
And then you'd have to piece another resolution with this one to make it make sense. But
yeah, I mean, what you would do is split the rate portion off.
Yeah. So that's the way that I say we approach it.
And I know we discussed.
We can be flexible in the next meeting or so if we need to.
So make a motion to table?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make a motion to table.
Yeah. And I know, I talked with Leanne, and she has been working those numbers, so I think we should be in a better position, certainly, to
Leanne and Frederick, right?
Yeah, and Frederick, as well, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a motion and second to table. All in favor? Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passed. Thank you. The next resolution, any other discussion, the council members, on anything at this point as to the budget? If not, we'll have plenty of time to discuss it going forward and to work with Frederick on that. I know we've also are looking at some other cost issues, certainly with the recycle yard and so forth. So I think at their next meeting, then we'll be able to come up with a much more clear understanding. The next item is Resolution 2021-142. This is a resolution authorizing agreement for dial ride services with Dutchess County. This is really in the same format, nothing's changed. Jim and I have looked at it, and it's one that our seniors do use, and we actually make very strong use of dial ride in our community. So
and this is 62,000, Jessica? Well, how much, Devin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
We won't hit that, but.
Okay. But that's where it is, and then we work with them on how it's divvied up. So that's my recommendation. We adopt it.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor? Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passed. The next item would be really if we have any new business. Jessica, would you like to make an announcement on the passing of one of our important community leaders? This is with respect to Dave.
Dave, yeah.
So Dave Twilley, who's been a nearly 2 decades long volunteer out at Wappinger Little League, passed away very suddenly on Tuesday. Heartbreaking. Dave was an amazing guy, one of the most helpful people you'll ever meet. And this weekend at 1 p.m. at Robinson Lane, they are having a memorial service for him right there at the ball fields. I mean, that was practically his home. So that's where they're going to be holding the memorial service.
Yeah, very appropriate to have it out there.
Yeah.
Dave,
It really
I know
is.
Dave personally, worked on the fields with him out there, Robinson Lane, does a great job, always out there looking out for the
Yeah.
children, the fields, et cetera. And he really did a great job along with the rest of the team out there, but Dave was very integral
We
part
had
of
the
that.
flag lowered at half-mast
Yes.
out there,
Yeah.
so I encourage everybody to participate. I plan to be there one,
Yeah.
so hopefully others can. So while you're up here, why don't you just announce some of our events that are coming up?
Okay, so those I know a lot about. Okay, so we have our Veterans Day service, which is on the 11th at 1 p.m. That Saturday, we have our book fair. I'll have to get back to you on the hours of that one because I can't pull that one right off the top of my head, but that is the WVA book fair. So that is benefiting the Wappinger Veterans Advisory. And that's something that we did last year. It was a pretty big success.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out to that. The way that we structure the sales at that is we don't charge you by the book. That's not how we do it. It's by the bag. So a small bag is $5, a large bag is $10, and whatever you put in it is what you walk out the door with. So that's what you're kind of buying when you come through the door.
9 to 3.
9 to 3, thank you. It is something that we also take donations for. So if people want to drop off books at Town Hall, we are still accepting those. We have some from last year that we've got in storage that'll be getting pulled back out. It's a really nice day. It's a really nice event. And if you're a reader, let me tell you, buy the $10 bag because you're going to fill it.
And we have some good titles.
Yeah.
I've looked at it.
Yeah, it's,
Now, is Kevin going to sell the bricks and also
Yeah.
do the memorials too?
those are kind of standard at everything
Okay.
that the WVA sets up, is having the opportunity to learn more about the bricks and the banners.
How
And-
long can the people come to drop off books, donate books?
All the way through Thursday, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, I mean, we're here for the Veterans Day ceremony that day, so they can drop off
Good.
that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so, yeah, Kevin will have forms, both for the bricks and for the Hometown Heroes flags.
Correct, correct.
Even though we'll be taking them down soon, but we'll still be processing the orders through the winter so we
And
can put
next
them up
year,
next
yeah.
year.
Next
And that's exactly it, getting them, this is actually a really great time to order them, because they're processing a larger number of them all at once. You have all winter to get this paperwork done and get it ordered, and then just kind of have them all up in the spring.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of
It's a lot,
new orders,
yeah.
so.
Yep, it is a lot. So then the first Saturday in December, we have our tree lighting.
December 4th.
December 4th, yes. The first Saturday it's at 5 p.m. It's at Schlott House, okay? Dick knows this because we gave him a write-up for his taping this morning, so that's why he has all the dates fresh in his head. We are also possibly having a bonfire at the Christmas tree lighting.
Looks real good that we're going to do it.
Looks really good that, yes, looks really good that we'll be having
A smaller
that.
bonfire, but at least to keep us warm
Yes.
at that time of year. No, we
Not,
will.
not community day size bonfire, but
Not that size,
but
but
a
maybe
nice-
half the size, but
yeah.
still nice.
Yeah, they did a really nice job.
Yeah.
they did. A nice thing to warm your
I don't think
hands
I'll be
by.
dancing the way they did, but.
No,
I heard you were
No,
going to be the
no,
one
might be a
dancing
little cold
instead,
for
Dick.
that.
I don't know, I want to see that. I want to take pictures.
Be a little cold for that.
But that will be
But
nice, and so
it will.
Jessica has a number of other things planned. Of course,
Yeah.
Santa Claus comes, right?
Santa will be there. We also have something that we started investing in last year, which is having a Christmas village at the park, which means that some of our stations that we do usually have at the tree lighting, hot chocolate, donuts, a game, a craft, things like that, are going to be set up through this Christmas village, which will be decorated, which I'm super excited about. We got the ball rolling on this last year, and
And Jessica
this is the
actually
first
purchased
year.
a bunch of supplies before year end last year. that,
Yes,
makes it going to be even prettier, I think, and nicer.
I bought a village, pretty much.
Well, good planning.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, post-holiday light and decoration sales are my best friend. So you'll be able to see Schlott House from space.
No, well,
Thank you.
All right.
okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Any other comments, business that you'd like to present, board members?
Not at this
Okay,
time.
seeing none, then I have a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any nays or abstentions? Seeing none, motion passed. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone. Thanks for
for
coming
coming
out,
out.
too.
Really, everybody.
Mm.